Hi everyone, my name is Juanita. I'm the Community Engagement Manager and Marketing Manager at Teatro Visión. We want to be with you in this space and share the presence of our various invitados who will join us each plática in our La Hora del Mitote. So you get to know them and at the same time know more about Teatro Visión. For those of you joining us on Facebook Live or YouTube, we invite you to ask questions on the comment section, and so we can answer them during this talk. This week, we, the staff of Teatro Visión, are excited to be with you in La Hora del Mitote. I have with me Leigh Henderson, our managing director, Dianne Vega, our production manager, and Rodrigo García, our artistic director. Thank you all for joining us today. Before we get started with any general questions, I would like to ask our team how they became part of Teatro Visión. So why don't we start with you, Dianne? What can you tell us? What brought you to Teatro Visión?
Well, actually, Elisa Marina Alvarado, the founding member and artistic director for many years of Teatro Visión, she and I were working with the American Indian movement for the powwows and doing powwows together. And she was asking me if I knew anything about theater, and I go, oh yeah, I've been a production manager since 1989. And so this was in 1994. And so she invited me to produce and stage manage The Last Angry Brown Hat in the summer of 1994. And I fell in love because previously to that, I was working 5 years with white theater companies. And once I started to work with teatro, I felt so at home. And it's like, oh my God, everybody's Mexican like me, and it's okay. So I just fell in love and I just stuck with it. So 26 years with this company. And so I really have enjoyed being a part, and I haven't left, as you could see. So anyways, I'm done.
Thank you so much for sharing that. 26 years, that's amazing. Let's go with our artistic director, Rodrigo. What can you tell us?
It was in 2006. I was working at the United Youth Center, and a friend of mine came in, and we were just talking. He was doing theater, and we're just talking about our mutual interest to continue doing theater. And so he said, hey, by the way, have you tried to audition for Teatro Visión? And I said, no, because it's a Chicano theater company and my English is not that good. And he said, but no, you should try, because they are producing Bodas de Sangre, and it's going to be in Spanish. And I said, really? Where are they? At the Mexican Heritage. So, and he says, the auditions are today and you should go. So this was like before lunchtime. So I took time to put together a resume, and I didn't have any headshots. So what I did is I grabbed my profile picture from my MySpace page, and I enlarged it, put it together. But I was working and I couldn't get off early. So as soon as I got off from work, I flew to the Mexican Heritage. It was empty. There was nobody there. And then they told me where the office of Teatro Visión was. And I went and I put my resume and my picture with a little note. And I said, I'd like to audition. Would you give me an opportunity? Boom. And I put it there. And I think it was the next day or a week after. I think it was a week after. I got a call from Dianne, and she said, are you still interested? Elisa Marina Alvarado wants to audition you. And I said, of course. When can I do that? Well, do you have time today? Yes, I do. I had no monologue prepared. I had nothing because I had never auditioned for a show before. I was always just cast. So anyway, so I went online, I looked for a monologue, I printed it, I went to see Elisa, and I did the audition. And that was it. 2 weeks after, Diane calls me and she says, Elisa would like to invite you to audition for La Víctima. I went to audition for La Víctima and I got cast. And that's how it all started, 2006. That was my first show and I loved it. I fell in love with it. And then I started just becoming familiar with the family, with the familia. And ever since, I've been with Teatro, 2006.
That's amazing. How about you, Leigh?
I actually have Diane to thank as well for me being a part of Teatro Visión. I met Diane, and I believe it was 1999. I was fresh out of undergrad, and I was trained as a set designer and a scenic artist and a lighting designer, and I got a call from Diane that she was looking for a scenic artist for the True History of Coca-Cola in Mexico. So I painted that, and then shortly after, you invited me to design Kiss of the Spider-Woman. And then I worked as a designer with Teatro Visión on and off, for the next, how long is it? What is that? 20 years, 22 years? Wow. That's a long time. And then, when in 2016, when the, 20, in 2016, it was also, I think, Diane, right, who recommended that I apply for the managing director position when that position became open. So I believe I have Diane to thank for this position as well. And yeah, I mean, I echo everything that Rodrigo and Diane are saying about the experience of working here, because, at the time when I first met Teatro Visión, I was freelancing for companies all up and down the peninsula, right? Dozens of them. I mean, and of all the companies that I worked with, the energy and the community and the, purpose behind what the company is doing was so clear and so vibrant, and it was just it was a wonderful place to work, and I'm delighted that I am able to still be here 20 years later.
So I think we all have to thank Diane, and some of our viewers have also said thank you, Diane. I started with Teatro Visión mainly watching the shows, I think, in 2014. And my first show I attended was Macario, and I completely fell in love with it. I was never really a theater person, and I said, this is amazing. This is something that talks to me and talks, and it was all to my older brother. And then as I kept attending the shows, I fell more in love with it. And actually, he's the one that said, at the beginning of the year, he said, hey, why don't you apply for the new opening for Teatro Visión? And I said, well, I don't know anything about theater. What am I going to do there? And then, I interviewed with Leigh and Rodrigo, and I was really nervous. But I think it's been a roller coaster. I've been in the office for a week, and then the pandemic hit. So I have not worked in the office for that long. So it's been a really interesting experience, to say the least. But I'm very thankful for the opportunity. So.
And we are very thankful that we have you here.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, as we move forward, I'd like to ask all of you, what have you been doing during this time, during this COVID-19 time, to take care of yourselves and your loved ones? Leigh?
Well, my nephew just started teaching me to play Minecraft, so That's pretty fun. I'm not good at it. He's 11, so he's not the most like supportive teacher you could possibly have, but I'm doing okay. I'm learning. So that's one thing. And then I do a lot of like baking, candy making is a good way to relax. Actually tomorrow, my mom and I are having a ice cream sundae competition to see who can. My niece and nephew are the judges to see who can make the best ice cream sundae. So I spent a lot of today making cookies as in preparation for that.
That's awesome. And congratulations on your win. We all got to see you win.
Thank
you.
How about you, Rodrigo?
That was fun.
It was, you had me there like biting my nails like, oh my God, please. And yeah, she won. By the way, thank you to all the people who are interacting with us on Facebook. It's always really, really nice to see that as isolated as we are here, there's still a connection there. So abrazos a todos. What do I do? Well, it's been interesting. My mom and my sister were here for the first 3 months of the pandemic, and it was such a blessing because they both live in Mexico, and usually, for example, with my sister, I usually see her for a week every like 4 or 5 years. So we had not had a chance to spend time together, longer than a week. So it was fascinating. And while they were here, we did all sorts of things. My mom taught me how to knit. So I knit a beanie, a scarf, and then we were just cooking. And we did soap. Soap. And other than that, cooking and just I've been writing too. I'm a aspiring playwright. I've been writing and just being with my partner and just enjoying life and trying to stay connected with people, even though it's been through Zoom. But it's always a delight to see Alebrijes and friends and the Teatro Familia.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very important to keep ourselves healthy and safe during this time, but also connected afar. Dianne, what can you tell us? What have you been doing during this time?
Just staying in my house and going once a week to get groceries. The first several weeks, there were my neighbor and my friend Janice Wright would bring me boxes of food from the food bank, so that was really good. That kept me home, and but I've been definitely just staying isolated. I just don't want to get sick, and my son helps a lot. He's staying with me. But one of the things I love the most is doing a Zoom call with my granddaughter, Coral. She is amazing, and she can be so entertaining on Zoom. It's so fun to watch her dance, sing, and so she lives up in Mill Valley, so I don't get to see her as much. But anyway, so just hanging out and watching a lot of Netflix and downloading a lot of my favorite movies. So that's pretty much. I'm so glad that we're starting production right now. So it's good to be doing busy work for teatros. So that's been really nice. So trying to be safe and healthy.
Well, I'm glad you're staying healthy. For me, I think most of the part was, getting used to being at home. I'm not home as much. So my mother and I started doing puzzles, and they range from 1,000 pieces to 1,500 pieces. So And it got to the point where the puzzles were done within 2 days. So we got really good at that. But then I started school. I recently finished my summer quarter, so I'm really happy that's done. And now we're picking up with our production for La Muerta Baila, so that's also very exciting. And I would also like to take this time to remind those who are watching us to feel free to ask any questions. You could direct your questions to any burning questions to any of us, and we'll be happy to answer them. In the meantime, aside from teatro, what are some interesting things or facts that you would all like to share with us and people that are watching us? How about you, Rodrigo? What would you like to share with us today?
Well, I kind of mentioned already, I like to write. I have a bunch of little projects that I've started, and I just find it fascinating. I have a lot of ideas all the time. Sometimes a simple things, something trivial, I start building stories in my head. So when I have chance, I like to write. I like to see movies and good series. And I think one of the things that I enjoy a lot, it's cooking. It's just such a therapy for me to do something with my hands and being able to share with people and then get their reaction when they taste it. It's just so rewarding, like you have no idea. I feel like I want to cook for the whole world if I could. But yeah, so cooking, it is one of the things that I enjoy the most. I think when I retire, I'm going to open a restaurant where I'm going to cook for people and and write.
What would you call your restaurant?
Aventuras. Adventures.
That's awesome. How about you, Leigh?
Well, I guess you all alluded to it a little earlier that I said I do a lot of baking. I'm like a I don't know, not professional. I'm not professional at all, but I'm a competitive cake decorator, I guess. I've done a couple of those, couple of shows on the Food Network now, I guess 4 times, actually. I recently won Big Time Bake is what, if you all didn't know, that's what Rodrigo was alluding to earlier, which was really cool. I did a couple seasons of Halloween Wars. I did a show called Sugar Dome a while ago. So I make extremely elaborate and cakes that light up or catch fire or spin around or do all sorts of things. I've made several for Diane's granddaughter. So yeah, that's my big claim. Other than theater, that's my big claim to fame.
Yeah, and thank you. You brought us all some delicious cake during this time in a safe way, and it made us all very happy. I think we all gained a couple pounds, but that's okay. It was delicious.
That's what's great about cake. It makes people happy. That's what it's for. So
it definitely did make us very happy.
There you go. It's the best way I know.
How about you, Dianne? What can you tell us?
Well, recently, who's since 1997, he acquired a treadmill. So I've been working out at his house on the treadmill. So that's been helping my, you get cabin fever, a little depressed. And so it's really helpful to get out there and compete with myself on a treadmill in a safe way. So since all gyms are closed, he decided to use his $1,200 stimulus check to get a treadmill. So that's been really nice, and we've been enjoying, getting together and working out together. And then we also once a week will have lunch outside, al fresco, and so that's really nice. Our favorite spot is Bedin because they have a huge outdoor patio. It's really just feels safe, and we love to have our lunches there once a week. So yeah, that's pretty much I'm trying to stay healthy because I'm pushing 70, so I gotta take care of myself. So yep, that's what nobody knows about me, exercising.
That's amazing. And we actually have a question for Leigh from Lulu. Will you be doing any more competitions on the Food Network in the near future?
I would love to. I don't have any scheduled right now. Actually, for a while, of course, nobody was producing TV shows, right? So they weren't shooting for a little while. So I don't have anything coming up right now. I 100% love doing it. It's really fun. So I would be more than delighted to take whatever other opportunities come up. And there's I am on the call lists of whatever casting companies cast these shows. So I do get calls. So I hope that I will be again sometime soon in the future. Hopefully.
Well, we all hope that you go in another competition because we I don't think everyone knew that we were all texting you during this time, and we were all very excited for you. And we all, in a way, wanted cookies and cupcakes and that cake at the end of the show. So hopefully that more to come in the future. And I'll answer my question, and something that I've been working on, and it's really interesting that I've been working on are my crafts, and behind me are some paper flowers that I enjoy doing. And so I've been doing paper flowers for a long time. So now I'm starting to branch out into doing more creative things, and I hope I do event planning in the near future when it's safe to do so. So I'm very excited to keep practicing and hopefully, get Dianne some flowers. And let's. I want to start moving towards asking you questions related to Teatro Visión. And now that we're in COVID-19, how is this year different from the previous years? And I'll let Dianne go first with this one.
We're starting rehearsals for Esperanza Rising, and we had everything, and boom, we had to cancel it. And so we did a Zoom with everybody, and it was really nice to be on Zoom. And at first it was weird because we all love to see each other. And so getting on Zoom was a different format for us to talk about postponing the show with the cast and the director and the team. But I think that Zoom has been, and just having to make, usually when we plan a production, it's set what we're going to do and where we're going to do it. But, and there's only one plan. But with this plan, we're having to wait to see, and we've got several ways of doing it. But I will say that the show will go on, so just in a different way. So looking forward to it.
Yes, definitely. We have
and also
options.
And also this is the first time I've ever had to order PPE. So that's part of our production supplies is masks and face shields, everything you need to help mitigate the COVID. So, yeah.
See, that's why you need to have such an experienced production manager, because then when things don't go the way they usually do, she can still make it work.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but I love a challenge. So, and this is pivoting into having to think about mitigating the pandemic is a real challenge. And I've worked in medical field before, so I'm not it's not a new thing for me. I've worked as a nurse before, so all of this equipment is not new to me, but it was really, kind of excited to order it. So, because it was a new thing to order, but I'm accepting the challenge and looking forward to the process.
A very, very different time that we're working with now, but thank you, Dianne, for working on that. It's definitely something really different this year. How about you, Rodrigo? What do you think is different this year?
Well, everything. Everything is different. We had, like Dianne mentioned, we had a production that we had cast. We were already planning to have the first meeting, and we literally canceled it. I think a couple of days, or like very, very close, and it was really hard. I think that as a staff, making those decisions, at least for me, it was one of the hardest, because I think back in our minds, we knew that something like that was going to be needed, but we just didn't want it to be so soon. I think we all had hope that we were going to be able to continue doing the work that we were doing. But I work also, my day job is at the public health department, the county's public health department. And I started working at the Emergency Operations Center since the end of January. And things were not looking good. And so, again, I was, for everything that we heard and everything that we were seeing, how the numbers in the number of people getting infected was just growing rapidly. I was hoping like something magical was going to happen and that we were not going to have to cancel things. And so that morning when we all gather and we're calling and saying, what are we going to do? And there was that decision before the officer from public health issued the sheltering order. And so we technically didn't have to do it because we were not mandated to do it. But we all realized that the number one priority was to keep our families safe. And because of that, we made the very difficult decision to cancel all the activities for Esperanza Rising. So that was very hard. I think it was really hard. And later on, we also had to cancel all their activities. We were doing a series of community workshops. We were having La Quinta, which is a theater ensemble from Mexico City that we are collaborating with in a new work. They were coming to do workshops here, and we had to cancel it. And the hardest thing was that we didn't know for how long. And so that completely changed, our lives, I guess. And from then on, I think once we accepted it, I think for us, it was like, okay, so now what? What are we going to do to stay connected? And we started coming up with ideas, particularly working with the youth who were the most immediately affected because they were part of that production. And then, along this period of time, we've been continuing to explore ways to continue engaging with our community, with our familia. And this is one of them, La Hora del Mitote. It's an effort to continue connecting, because something that is very unique about this particular situation is that anybody and everybody in every corner of the world is feeling and understands what it's like to be in a lockdown. And I think that from a human perspective brings a whole different level, because we all can relate. Obviously, the pandemic has been different for different people. There are people who are having very difficult times. All the people that we've lost to the disease. But again, as a theater company, we are committed to continue the work that we do, which is art, theater art. And so we have to rethink how we do things and make things still relevant for people, because that's what we do, as artists, as a theater company, and that's our commitment with our community.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. It was very, very difficult to make the call and say, we're shutting everything down, because it's the safest option for everyone right now. We didn't know much about what was going to happen. So I agree with you. I only worked in the office again for a week, and I didn't imagine going into a workplace, starting my job, and then saying, you have to work from home now. So I think we all had really high hopes that we would be allowed to go back to normal within a couple of weeks. But I think we have done a really good job trying to stay connected, like you said, with their younger cast. I think they really appreciated staying connected for the first couple of weeks. And I think for me, not having so much experience working with the theater company, now I'm seeing the difference between how maybe it would have worked last year as opposed to this year, because now we have option A, we have an option B, and option C even. So it's been a very different experience, but I'm very thankful because you're all very supportive and awesome. So thank you all for that. How about you, Leigh?
Oh gosh. Well, I'll tell you a good thing that's different. I think that this has given us an opportunity to connect with some groups that we didn't always connect so closely with before. We've been participating for a while now with a group called Teatros Unidos, which is comprised of theater companies all over the country that serve Latinx and other communities of color. And it's just really it's helpful and inspiring and motivating to talk to them and to see how we can support each other and help each other and lift each other up. And so that's happening with these groups around the country, and any number of groups locally too that I've been looking for new ways to collaborate and to help each other, because I think there's such a strong sense of we all are struggling in different ways and from different perspectives, but we all feel that urge to do whatever we can to help not just ourselves but each other, right? And I think that's something that I would love to carry beyond this as well, right? That sense of we are all an arts community, we are all a theater community, we are all the Santa Clara County community, and we should all be looking out for all of us as much as we can. And So yeah, I mean, for sure, everything, you and Rodrigo and Dianne, everything's different in terms of how we do things, but hopefully, we can learn some good things too, and hold on to them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that sense of unity throughout our community and throughout the world is being felt and acknowledged. So, a lot of our people, our viewers, and the people watching on Facebook or YouTube, are very thankful that we're bringing some sort of normality to our community. So it's definitely different, but we keep moving forward. So on to our next question. What are some of your favorite moments while working with Teatro Visión? And we can start with you, Leigh.
Well, a really fun moment I had recently was some of you might remember we did House on Mango Street was our first show we ever did with a youth cast. And we did it back in, I think, 20.
Did we lose Leigh?
I think we're having some technical difficulties with Leigh. So why don't we move on and then Rodrigo, why don't you?
Can I just mention quickly? I just want to, say hi to Gloria Stanley. Thank you, Gloria. Mucho cariño. Alexia Díaz, un abrazo con mucho cariño. Jambier Berber, igual, un abrazote, Javi. A Carolina Pérez, besos y abrazos a la familia, a ti. Gracias por estar aquí. Lulu Andrade Torres, yes, a la familia. Big hugs to all of you. Marisa Torres, of course, and everybody, toda la gente que está viéndonos ahorita. Thank you very much for spending this evening with us.
Yes, thank you all. And I think we did lose Leigh, but we can move forward with answering the questions. Dianne, go ahead and tell us what's one of your favorite moments while working with Teatro Visión.
While working with Teatro Visión, I really, my moments are just so many. There's never one favorite moment, but one that comes to mind was when we started doing the youth shows. Because those youth work so hard and just like professional actors. And we've done House on Mango Street 3 times, twice with adults playing the youth and then with our youth. And my son, Jacob, he worked on the first 2 shows that we've done, other productions with the adults. And he came to opening night with me. And after that, he stood up and applauded and said to me, I don't ever want to see this show produced with adults again. This has to be with youth, because they brought such a honest portrayal of the characters. There was no trying to have an adult try to do a youth posture. They had the posture. They were able to do all of that. And that was just such a great moment to just see how well they blossomed on stage. And so that I have to say I have to highlight the youth on that particular moment, since we had already done it previously. But that was my favorite version of House on Mango Street that we ever produced. So that's my moment. I give it to the youth.
Thank you for sharing that, Dianne. Rodrigo, what are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with Dianne. I think having the youth and being able to start that program was a long dream that we were able to accomplish, and that made me also very happy. But in addition, I think also one of the big and happy moments that I've experienced while working in Teatro Visión was when we were finally able to premiere Macario. Macario had been in the works for over a decade. When I came on board as an actor in 2006, some of my first conversations with Elisa, my mentor, my friend, mi guía, everything is Elisa. One of my first conversations with her was about Macario and her dream to make the adaptation of Macario. And, it seemed so far that because we were facing the challenge of not being able to get in touch with the family of B. Traven to get the permission or the rights. Later, I came on staff as a artistic program manager, and that was one of my tasks to get in contact with that family. And we were able to do it. We started working on it. We brought the artist, Evelina Fernandez, the playwright, to do the adaptation. The wonderful and incredible Russell Rodriguez to work on the music, and the so talented Maria de la Rosa to do choreography. And we were ready. We were working on it, and then, boom, we just lost the money. We were one of the many companies that got hit by the crisis, the 2010, 2012 big economic crisis, and we had to close, and we just couldn't do it. We were literally ready to start, and we just couldn't do it. Then Elisa had a seizure, not a seizure, a stroke. And it was very difficult for all of us, for her mainly and her family. So the next year when we were finally in rehearsals, I just couldn't believe it. And the first time that Elisa and I went on stage to present Macario, it was like a dream come true. It was amazing. People loved the production. Anyway, it was one of the happiest moments for me, and I have to thank Elisa for including me in her dream.
Yeah, I think we should all give. I think we're all very thankful and grateful for Elisa. So thank you, Elisa, for sharing this moment. And I personally love Macario. One of the first plays that I ever watched, and it was amazing. I think this whole experience has been one of my favorites because for me, it's not something that I've gone through, working through a pandemic. And I really, really have enjoyed every staff meeting. We share a lot of moments, and even though we're apart, we really have been working together to get everything out for our youth, for the workshops with La Quinta. One of the fun moments were when we all got together and decided to cheer on Leigh during her show or her episode. And that was just amazing. And I think we've all done a really great job working together. And, our staff meetings, I've really enjoyed our staff meetings. They're a lot of fun. So I'm going to read off some of the comments that people have been leaving for us. Janvier, thank you for keeping the community together. And Jacqueline Mora, viva Macario. Rodrigo, si se puede. So, Rodrigo, thank you for working so hard on Macario. I think it really did pay off.
It's being a team effort. Dianne has been a big part of it. Leigh, Elisa, and it has been an amazing work. collaborative work, and it's been amazing being part of that team.
Yeah,
I'd like to give a shout out to all of the parents of the youth that have been a part of our team since their kids have been a part of our show, starting with Magadio in 2013. Yeah, 2013. Seeing
14.
them grow up. 14 was our first?
14, 15, 16, and then 19.
Okay, so 14. Sorry, see, I'm so old. I'm such a vieja.
But
I wanted to say that one of my jobs is to make sure to hire all the staff that we need for the production, as well as help cast and our steadfast stage manager, Roland Mangan. Thank you for your service. Wasn't able to do the last year's Magadio, so that defaults to me. And so I was thinking, okay, if I made the decision in May that I'm going to have to do it, and I got ready for it. But one of the things when Rodrigo had a little concern, because production manage and stage manage, and rightly so, because that's two big jobs. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to be okay. I have an army of parents that are going to help me out, an army of parents. And so it was the most fun I ever had, even though I thought it was going to kill me. And but if I didn't have those parents, it's like anything I needed, I text the group, and somebody like 2 minutes later, okay, I'll pick that up on the way to rehearsal. It was like, it was amazing, the help that we got. I couldn't have done it without that support. And the last cue of the final performance, I called the last cue, and I stood up in the booth and I went, I'm still alive, because I thought it would kill me. But it didn't kill me, and I had so much energy, and it was that, I have to say, was a really great show. That of all the shows I've stage managed, hundreds of shows, but I'll tell you, that's the one that I stage managed that I really, really had a good time and felt like I could relax because I had so much family support. And it's like when we're all together, that's what I miss. When we're all together, I'll come into a long tech day. I'll come in the morning and without breakfast, and oh yeah, I forgot to eat breakfast. And then I'm at the tech table and a parent is bringing me pan dulce and coffee. It's like I wish they would adopt me, because these parents are wonderful parents, and they're good with their kids and have such great intentions to support their kids with. And I just can't say enough about how wonderful and beautiful these parents are. So thank you, my parents. Salud.
Yes, definitely. Thank you to all the parents, but also, thank you, Dianne. So here is Lulu saying you're amazing. A lot of this work wouldn't have been done without you. So we're all very, very grateful. And you got more volunteers. Jacqueline just said you can count on her. Future productions, we'll be calling her. Okay, I don't think Leigh was able to join us again, but we can move on and see if we have any more questions from the audience or anyone else.
This is the moment they can ask anything that they want.
Yes.
And while people ask, I definitely want to echo what Dianne says about the parents. They rose to the challenge from the very beginning when we were trying to bring the youth program. We asked them for a big commitment. We asked them for their support in time. They helped us raise funds to create the wonderful set that Leigh created, designed rather, and we really, that was the result of for me, I think that definitely House of Mango Street, that first production, was the result of the love and commitment of the community, because everybody put their, contributed with something important to make it happen. And we asked them, we said, we want to do this, but we cannot do it by ourselves. Can you help us? And they start coming up with ideas and, yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Boom, boom, boom. And little by little. And then one day we were opening House of Mango Street with a major, major success. And so, yeah, thank you to everybody who has supported.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't be here without our community, and parents are a big part of that, and our audience is a big part of that. So thank you all very much. I think part of this success to Teatro Visión is the community and the support that we get from everyone around us, and we're all very thankful for all the support and help.
You're talking about support. I just want to remind people that we have the Tardeada coming up, which is our fundraiser, and we hope that people can continue supporting Teatro Visión. There are great things in the horizon, and we hope that we continue to have your support in any way possible. Throughout these years, we've had people who have contributed money, who have contributed all the resources, food, time. It's been amazing. From the time that I've been working, the cast that I've worked with, they have been so generous and committed to the work that we all do. And I would love to mention each one of them, but I can't because of time. But I do want to acknowledge their support, their tremendous support, the families, the friends, everybody who has had some way of contact with Teatro Visión, because their presence, their support has made Teatro Visión what it is today.
Right, and a lot of the people in the comments.
Thank you so much. It's like
a lot of the people in the comments have been saying thank you for our work, but this year on our Tuesday Day of Giving, Teatro Visión raised the most amount of money that in any of the years. So I actually thank you all for, this is a year of struggle, and you guys have kept us afloat, and it's a reason why we keep working and trying to get this next production up and going. So
and not to forget our wonderful board members who were tireless to keep our organization running. So thank you to past and present board members, and hopefully we can see future board members joining us soon. So thank you. We have a great board on the board who are doing everything to keep our doors open. Thank you.
Yeah, and before we end our talk, I want to ask you all one last question, and it's, what do you miss doing during this time? Rodrigo?
Oh, I miss hugging. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Dianne. Go ahead. You go ahead, Dianne.
I miss her. I miss us and all our teatro family we have, and I miss you all so much. Just just want you to know that. That's it. Thank you.
We do miss you too, Dianne, and echoing what Dianne says, the summer is usually the time where we have a lot of fun. That's when we start planning for the fall production. And I think I'm going to miss the contact and the being together in a space. But I'm also looking forward to our next production, which is going to be a fun challenge to live with a wonderful cast that we will be announcing soon. So stay tuned. And I think in the overall, I just hope that when we come out of this, we come out more human. Or better humans.
More human. I think that's a good way to put it. I think we all have learned a little bit more about how the world works and the struggle that we are currently going through. And for me, something that I miss the most is being able to hug safely, not feeling like a threat to friends and family. But I think I agree with you. Hopefully, when we come out of all of this, we can safely do so and actually enjoy and cherish those moments that that we get to do it. I think one of my favorite moments after a show is being able to hug the actors and take pictures with them. And unfortunately, that's probably something that we can't do this year. But it's still going to be a really nice experience to be part of the show and go watch it and have some sense of hope. So really looking forward to that. Is there do you all have any more thoughts or something you'd like to share with our viewers before we go?
Abrazos, besos a todos. Gracias.
Yeah, gracias a todas las personas que estuvieron presentes. Thank you to all of you who tuned in for this Hora del Mitote. And, you can also send us your suggestions to see if you would like us to talk about something, or I don't know, give us suggestions. We're again hoping to stay connected this way, and let people know that we're here every Friday 7 p.m. La Hora del Mitote, y pues aquí echando mitote.
Yes, definitely. Gracias a toda la familia, friends, for joining us esta tarde en La Hora del Mitote. Please continue to join us every Friday at 7 p.m. On this same platform, Facebook Live or YouTube. Next week, we will have some of our amazing board members with us who will be sharing with you their experience about being on Teatro Vision's board, and also go a little more in depth of our upcoming event, the Tardeada, which is on August 22nd. So don't miss out next week in La Hora del Mitote. Gracias.
Adiós. Hasta pronto.
Adiós. Adiós.